Good night, everybody. Welcome to Full Throttle Sim Racing Truck Series presented by Sim Racing Points. My name is Jay Stan, or my full name, Jeremy Stanley, and alongside me here this evening, or actually below me for that fact, I have Kenny Bishop, who joined me on Monday. He's fresh to the scene. We did an awesome job on Monday, and Kenny, I'm looking forward to cranking this truck race out with you tonight.
Yeah, Jeremy, I'm excited to get this truck race going here under Daytona. Actually, the lights at Daytona National Speedway. It's going to be a good race, I feel like, and I can't wait to get rolling.
Yeah, good race for sure. Me and you have been watching practice here for a little bit, and these trucks are looking quite racy. They've had a couple of huge racing packs going on, side by side, 10 rows deep, and so far this practice session, minus one big wreck, everything's been pretty clean, and if it's a precursor for later on this evening, it's going to be a hell of a race.
Yeah, you're definitely correct on that one. It's there's a lot of pack driving going on right now. As we're watching the 92 on screen here, I'm watching them just slide around the corner like Lightning McQueen. Good car control. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be some good racing tonight. I think it's going to be a big pack all the way to the end. I think we got 80 laps tonight, so hopefully we keep a lot of trucks intact and make it all to the finish.
Lightning McQueen for sure. Dean Gear was just, putting on a little show for us. He knew we went live, so he wanted to do something for us. But, with any new broadcast, I know we got a lot of new faces that we're trying to get used to. And some of these names, I have to apologize in advance. If we do mess them up, please correct us. I know our pronunciation sometimes can be a little off, and especially with these names. Just please reach out to the admins after the race and give us a correct phonetic pronunciation of that. But tonight, like I said, it's tonight's race is presented by the Sim Racing Points, which is the official presenting series sponsor of the Truck Series and presenting sponsor of the official results, which you guys will see later tonight after 80 laps in the Daytona 200.
Yeah, I second that, Jeremy. I've been practicing these names all week trying to make sure I nail them right, but unfortunately, there's some that's just going to stump me, so I'm going to try and get through as best as I can. But like you said, if we pronounce it wrong, just let us know, and we'll make sure we get it right next time for you.
Yeah, it's it'll take a little bit of time, but we'll get there. But currently on track, I see one pack about 5 trucks so far, and another one of 3 trucks. And we have one in the infield. I don't know how he got there. I'll take a quick look at that. But he's just driving through the taking the road course route, no problem there. But yeah, these trucks, like I said earlier, they're looking pretty racy, and I know these trucks are always a blast to drive. Myself personally, I know everybody in their altitudes loves to drive the trucks, and it's just one of those. This is one of those series that's underrated, I feel like, and a lot of people underappreciate. And they always, no matter what track, even at the super speedways, there's so much aero push and so much of a hole they punch in the air when these trucks run, in a big pack, and it causes for a lot of side draft and a lot of sucks up, which produces that really good super speedway style racing.
Absolutely. It's, these trucks they're so much fun to drive. I mean, back in the, old NR 2003 days, that was the first one I had was in the Truck Series. I always enjoy driving them. They're just a blast. You can take them anywhere you want. Right now, I'm kind of looking at Bobby Terrell. He had a great year last year. I think he had 5 wins, was leading the points going into the chase. That truck he's got, that number 4, that's a sharp-looking truck there. I like it. It's kind of got like that old school, warplane look to it, and he's going to be pushing his way to the front tonight, I believe, as well.
Yeah, he's I agree with you there. That truck is pretty awesome. I've been staring at that thing for the past minute myself, and the orange or the red and yellow checker kind of throws it off a little bit, but I completely understand it. But the rest of the scheme, that metal look, that riveted metal look, it's just, you don't see it often, but when you do see it, it's something that you really appreciate. But we got about a minute left, Kenny, before qualifying hits. So I would like to shout out to all of our sponsors this evening for helping put on the show for us, to have us presented out to you guys out there in the world watching Full Throttle Sim Racing on a Wednesday night with us. So the Premier League and official presenting sponsor of tonight's series and the Cup Series, and for your grid lineup, which will be in about 5 minutes, is Full Throttle Sim Racing. Full Throttle Sim Racing is a league that's been going around since 2006, back in the NR 2003 racing season years. As you mentioned with the trucks just a little bit ago, These guys expanded to iRacing in 2017, and so it's about 5 years almost. They've been on the scene at iRacing, and they've had a lot of the same guys stick it through all this time. 16 years is quite a bit of time to have one series with one name banner, and so the admins are, they're well nourished and in what they do, and that's why this league's been able to continue the way it has been. So check them out, FTSR.net. You'll have everything listed. The page is super clean, really user-friendly, nice and easy, nothing complicated. Go to their website, FTSR.net. And then the series sponsor for tonight is Sim Racing Points. That's the official presenting sponsor of the Truck Series and the official results, which after 80 laps tonight, you guys will see that as well. Sim Racing Points is an all-inclusive league points management system that allows league owners and administrators the ability to completely track their league statistics and points with a simple upload. Sim Racing Points does not stop there. For any avid webmasters out there, they also allow creation of custom widgets for their websites and ready to upload within seconds. With a few simple clicks of the mouse, any league can be able to be up and running and looking good while doing it. Check their pricing plans at www.simracingpoints.com. Then a couple other affiliates, personally by the Nerditudes. We got Martin Sports, is a small company with a big-time product, home of the gloves of sim racing. Martin Sports makes the most breathable and durable gloves in the sim racing world has ever seen. Also specializes in fully customized sublimation printing on everything from team uniforms, shirts, hoodies. Allow for zero restriction on colors. And allows for the absolute fastest turnaround in the business. Check their full apparel and merchandise at www.marksports906.com. And for a friendly checkout there, 25% off anything that you purchase if you use the checkout code SUPERNERD. So that's a pretty good savings. That's a quarter of your price knocked off. So go ahead and use that code at checkout. Then we have iRacing iFlag. It is the iRacing standard for open source race marshalling light board system. So essentially that is a 64 light emitting diode matrix that displays racing flags in a truly noticeable peripheral vision fashion, making it both impossible to miss any flag like yellow, blue, safety car, checker flag, green flag, whatever you want to name it, but also easier to allow the driver to achieve the highest level of focus because those lights are so bright. Any flag that you get in the game, it's too bright. You can't just not notice it. So it's a pretty cool thing. It makes your sim rig feel like an actual, you're actually at the track. The lights on the catch fence you'll see tonight, super bright, and it's the same way inside your sim rig. If you use Super Nerd at checkout, for them, it's 15% off any of their products. Check them out at iRacingIFlag.com. And then finally, the butt kicker. I always describe it as a D-Box-like experience in your chair. 3D sound. It rumbles with every bump that you hit, every curve you take. You feel it in your chair. So with the iRacing iFlag product alongside the butt kicker, it's just, you're basically in the car without being in the car. The Gamer 2 unit is a standard in the sim racing immersion, giving sim racers a haptic transducer with easily attaches to any centering post on a gaming chair or sim racing rig. It'll give any sim racer that much needed feel from the car. The drivers really need to perform and have their peak performance. Check their entire product line at thebuttkicker.com. And once again, we have a promo code for you at checkout, NERDTV, 20% off. Now, Kenny, we're currently in qualifying. We have about 4 minutes left in the session. Some trucks have taken time. Some are still on their warm-up lap. And what are you seeing out there so far?
Oh, right now I was looking at Bobby Terrell, see what he does in his qualifying lap. It looks like he didn't like his run on the first lap there and kind of backed it down, reset, and now he's back on the track and seeing if he can bust out a quick lap and take the pole here. Looks like on their TV we're kind of watching the same thing, so let's see if he can kind of pull off a fast lap.
Yeah, I feel like we're all staring at that truck from practice because it looks so good. We're all on the same page here at Nerditudes, and we kind of appreciate that thing. But yeah, trucks look pretty stout. The setup I've noticed from practice and in the qualifying trim, they're very solid. I know qualifying, it's going to look solid, but like even in the practice session, the race is going to be awesome tonight because the setup just looks really racy and really stable at the same time. So hopefully you guys enjoy the 80 laps here at the Daytona 200.
Yeah, they're really stable. You can see that when they were in that pack, I think that pack we were watching earlier was about 14, 15 trucks, and they were all holding pretty steady, pretty stable there. Like you said, the setup is they got the setup down for this race, and it's going to make for some good pack racing and going to get some good runs, I feel like, here. And I'm interested to see if we're going to have the high side or the low side working tonight, where everyone's going to go.
Yeah, I expected the high line to prevail on Monday, but it never came to fruition. I think the game updated the cars, but the trucks, though, on the other hand, should be producing some pretty good fast speeds on the top side. But you guys will find that out shortly. The pre-race show presented by Martin Sports is officially done with, as the pace car has hit the grid. So we're going to get our faces off the screen so you guys can see all the live action for the truck series tonight. Kenny, early expectations. Do you expect this thing to go green for a while? Do you expect them to shift positions and scramble around? What's your expectation of this first 5 laps?
Oh, the first 5 laps, I think they're just going to kind of just settle in, find a groove, just kind of go, probably too wide racing. I'm not going to see too much racing, I don't think, in that first 5 laps. But once they get settled in, I think we're going to get real racy. I don't think we're going to see many cautions tonight. At least I hope not. I hope it's just a nice, good race that we have that just green flag runs. See some good pit stops here, hopefully, and some aggression kind of taking over towards the end. Like you said, on Monday, we had some good racing all the way till the last lap. We didn't have a caution till coming off of 4, so let's hope we can repeat that here on Wednesday.
Yeah, this is very true. We're going to go ahead and actually get the grid lineup presented by Full Throttle Sim Racing up on our screen here for you guys, so we can see who and where is starting in what positions. Top 10 here, I got Jonathan Varanaskis. Second place, I have Nicholas Casey. Third place, Bobby Terrell. Fourth place, Matthew Tremblay. Fifth place, I have Sherwood Williford. Sixth place, Jeff Langston. Seventh place, Stephen Verumin. Eighth place, Kevin Rupert. Ninth place, Lane Allen. And 10th, Chris Stouffer.
And in 11th place, you have Steve Loomis. 12th is Gil Gok. 13th, you got Andrew Palicki. 14th is Brian Bliss. 15th is James Torrey. 16th is going to be Simon Magrin. 17th is Mark Dubois. 18th is Kenneth Schultz. 19th is Alex Murphy. And 20th is Joe Flanagan.
21st will be Brody Hanna, who won that dual race there on Monday, number 2, I do believe it was. And then you got 22nd here, Tony Soler. 23rd, Dean Gear. 24th, Wayne Grassy. Starting in 25th will be Claude Furlan. 26th will be Richie Coy. 27, Mannix Richard. 28th, Sylvain Jolly. 29th, Ron White. And 30th will be Martin. This is the one I'm going to pronounce incorrectly. Correct me, please. It's going to be Shuru.
And we got a couple cars here that didn't make a qualifying run. That's going to be starting towards the back. We have in 31st, Nicholas Moreau. 32nd is Chuck Sweetening. 33rd is Zach McDaniel. 34th is Casey McMullen. And 35th is Brandon Elder.
All right. Pace car is down. Actually, as soon as we get done with that, the green flag is out, underway. Jonathan Varanaskis takes the checkered line there. It's sole possession of first place a little early, and we know he's going to fall right back to the Ford because this is super speedway racing. But the 86 with Nicholas Casey and the 25 right behind him of Matthew Tremblay, they're going to hook up early here and try to get a little bit of a jump and try to maintain with the 27 up front.
Yeah, the bottom line is actually they got to run on the high side here. Everyone's starting to get back together on that start. They kind of broke apart a little bit, but now they're grouping back up. That high side's making a run, as you can see here. You got the 86 taking that lead inside, dropping to the inside, heading into turn 3.
86 dips down, wants that early advantage into turn number 3. Does so smoothly, and he's probably going to lead this first lap. But we got a lot of trucks that are really tight knit on the top side, looking to make a good run as the 25 gets a good run off of turn 4.
And coming to the start-finish line, you have Nicholas Casey's going to lead that first lap here, first of 80 laps. We got that high side, still trying to get back up on the top of the low sides, carrying all that momentum heading into turn 1 and 2. I think that bottom side is going to be the way to go for right now, Jeremy.
Yeah, time will tell for sure on that one. It's definitely a safer line. You're not right next to the wall. You have a lot of space either to your left or your right if you have to avoid a wreck. So that could be the way we play that out. But right now, people want to get up to the front that are in the back, and then some people in the front may want to drop to the back. So they're going to see a little bit of mix up here. But as the 10, 15 laps kick in, I think at that point we're going to see a lot of guys just kind of go single file and have that little middle race lull to, preserve that truck for the end.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't think they're going to be chancing it too much like we were talking about earlier, the first 5 laps. I think they're just kind of following in right now, just kind of taking it easy, little 2-wide racing all the way back. Doesn't look like anyone's going 3-wide, making any crazy moves or anything like that. Just trying to fill out the track, fill out everything, settle in before they start making moves. The one car I feel like I know that you're taking an eye at, Jeremy, is that 21 right there of Jeff Langston. If anything I know about you is you love yourself some Oreos, and that truck just screams all you, man.
I've had so much sugar this week from Valentine's Day week from other people's candies. It's insane. But a good Oreo does sound good as well with a glass of milk. But, maybe I'll have to wait after these next 76 laps or so before I go ahead and grab me some of that. But, yeah, definitely eyeballing that truck and quite a few others. A lot of awesome paint jobs out there. We've already mentioned the 4. A couple other guys out there, too. The classic yellow Pennzoil. That's always a cool... And the Nerditude's red and yellow machine back there, I think around 15th. Let's see who that... I think that's Tony. It's a very unique paint job color. It's... I'm not used to seeing that kind of colors for the Nerditude, man.
Yeah, you look at the 91 Nicholas or Kenneth Schultz there?
Kenneth Schultz, yes, absolutely. My correction there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that Nerd TV Sinclair. I'm a big Sinclair fan, as you know. I mean, anything with green, but I got a couple of Sinclair signs setting up in the wall in the office here, and that's always just that old retro style look. And one day maybe I'll get enough money to give me one of those old gas station. Back in the day, those Sinclair ones are really nice. But it's different colors than what we're used to on the Nerd TV. But I'm liking it.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks good. And underneath the lights, those bright colors definitely stand out. It's one of those trucks you just cannot miss for sure. These guys are still staying 2x2x2. We're on lap number 5 this time by, so haven't seen that shift to the single file formation. But at the same time, I've seen a lot more space in between each truck, unless you're the top 5 or 10. Everybody else has a little bit more space. It looks like they are starting to take it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm looking at the back here, and you got a couple of them that's kind of just dropped back a little bit. Looks like they're just taking it easy. You got Brandon Elder and Brody Hanna. They're back there just hanging around, waiting to see what happens here. Casey McMullen's back there with Zach McDaniel. I think those 4 are just going to eventually start making a run towards the front, especially Brandon Elder and Brody Hanna. We saw them link up on Monday, and they had a good push together. So, longtime teammates and everything. They're definitely going to be making a run. They'll be there late.
Yeah, we know Casey McMullen's bad fast, and I think he's one of those trucks right now that are just kind of taking his time, just running in the far back. One of those things where you just kind of let things happen in front of you. You can easily avoid wrecks whenever you're this far back, and then definitely shoot toward the front whenever things matter the most.
Oh yeah, and another one back there I see too that's just kind of hanging around is Richie Coy. We saw him on that fun series on Monday. He made a nice little cut to the 3 wide there, coming off of 4 into the tri-oval, and took the lead there and won the race all within a matter of seconds. It was an impressive run. So I think he's also going to be someone to fight for. But as I'm looking through the rest of the field, there's still 2 wide racing, about 20 or about 7 rows deep or so. No, there's about 14 rows deep with 2 wide racing. So I think they're still just settling in as we're going on this long run here.
Yeah, he took himself and his father to victory lane just on Monday. He knows had that special decal on his car because he lost his father on the off season. So that kind of thing drove, I think, that car alone to victory lane on Monday night. But he's also one of those trucks that you say he's just kind of chilling in the back and just kind of waiting things out here. We're starting to see the top line maybe drop back just a little bit. It's hard to tell because they're so deep, but it looks like the inside line is starting to prevail as they got 2 trucks, single file at this point until the 3rd row where you had the double file.
Yeah, I don't see much jostling going on in the back here. I got one car that's kind of, a little bit back and forth, but it looks like he's just trying to catch some air and pull off that engine a little bit. But yeah, that inside lane is just right now. That's the preferred line. See if this top side works in. See if we can get some high side momentum going on. But right now, everyone's just kind of playing it nice and calm and cool, and just sitting back and enjoying the drive right now. Kind of just like a little Sunday stroll. I do see one here that's on the bottom here. I'm not quite sure who that is. Let's see if we can find out who that is. But he just dipped out of line. Maybe he's just trying to drop to the back and get out of the way of some people here.
That's exactly what's going on. Brian Bliss in that 18 Tundra just kind of drops back there to the back. His truck looks like it's just fine. He's just getting out of harm's way, which, as we were just talking about the front pack, they were running pretty spaced out, pretty conservative, really. So it's kind of an interesting call to see why he went to the back. I don't know if he's just not feeling 100% up front or whatnot, but to me, I thought the pack's been running pretty clean. Seen a lot of space between the bumpers, between the doors, just kind of hanging on here as the laps kind of tick away.
Yeah, Bob, in the one I've been still keeping my eye on, like I did on pre-practice, he had 5 wins last year, and that's Bobby Terrell. He's just kind of sitting back there right now in the inside lane, third back, just kind of watching, waiting for his move to make. And there is, like you said, a lot of space between these trucks, so I think everyone's just hanging back and waiting. No one's taking any risk right now. There's no reason. It's the first race of the season. You don't want to hurt your points. If you're making a run for the championship, you don't want to try to do anything too early. You can't win it on the first lap, but you can definitely ruin it. So I think everyone's just trying to make it as far as they can and pull off a win and start the season off right.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have a pretty high I-rating average in this field, and so they know that they have to wait until the end. Which, it's kind of cool when you get a bunch of guys that are, really stout in iRacing in general, because they all know what they need to do. There's not one person out there that doesn't know, or has any questions, really. So, I expect nothing but good, solid racing here, and that's what they've done so far.
And we're coming, coming with 10 laps completed here, and just kind of riding around. I'm waiting to see who's going to be the first one to make a move. I think we're going to start seeing that outside line take off a little bit more. I think that's when the moves start coming. But it's going to be interesting to see when this thing makes it to some green flag pit stops, too, to see how everyone kind of spreads out and see if we keep this pack nice and tight, or if it's going to spread out a little bit and see what people's strategy are, if they're going to be taking 4 tires, 2 tires, no tires. It just kind of depends on what they're feeling. But I think there's going to be some that's going to go 2 or even none.
And these guys run 100% fuel tank. So I think the fuel mileage is about 25 to 30 laps. So, they got another 20 laps or so at most before we'll see some guys dip down, unless they short pit a little bit, because it's 80 laps. And so even if it's a 25 lap fuel tank, then we're going to see at least 2 stops, probably 3 most likely. But yeah, I know they're still just keeping it single file, nice and easy. But I think, Kenny, this time we're going to take a nice little short commercial break to give sponsors a little bit extra love out there. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
To be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MakoniSetupShop.com and learn why Makoni Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
All right, guys, welcome back. The field, Kenny, has been just cruising along here. Nothing's really happened since the commercial break went down. We just saw that last sponsor there by Makoni Setup Shop. I'd like to give a quick shout out to them before we go ahead and start, bringing you back into the action fully. Makoni Setup Shop's a really good shop for a lot of different setups, whether if it's a dirt car, whether if it's a short track asphalt, whether it's a big track asphalt like these trucks or Cup or Xfinity. They also have a paint shop as well, so they can cover your setup and the car that you drive. So it's a pretty well combination there. So MakoniSetupShop.com. They got different pricing options for you for whatever you need for whatever car or paint job. So please make sure to go check them out and use code SuperNerd at checkout. I think it's about 20% off for you on everything. But going back to the action here, the race can is just side by side. No one's really changed positions. The 86 has been at the point the whole time and just taking it nice and easy.
Yeah, the 86, like you're saying, he's just been leading the whole race, just kind of sitting out there on inside row. So, you got Jonathan and that number 27 sitting right behind him. So they're just all cruising in the 4-car. Brandon Terrell right there as well. Not much changed around, like you said, when we were gone at break. Everyone's still side by side, single file, 2 rows deep, all the way back. I do see the rear of the field, they did kind of bunch up a little bit, so we got this whole pack here. They're all evenly spread out, but they're not as far back as they were there. They're all kind of single file in that inside lane.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of going over the weather facts here. It's a little bit warmer than what it was on Monday, a few degrees warmer. It's partly cloudy, 71 degrees out there, air temp. Track's only at 73, so about 4 degrees warmer from Monday. And there's actually a 9-mile-an-hour wind push from the east. And I'm not actually seeing it affect the trucks. These trucks are just handling so damn good. I'm really not seeing any side-by-side with that crosswind.
Yeah, big shout out to the setup that they're using tonight. These trucks are handling well. No effect to that wind at all. Super stable. Even in the corner, off the corner, straight away, all the above. They're just kind of playing it to the ground. Especially out there in front there, the 86 truck. Nicholas is just painting the yellow line. That's what he's doing, just going around, taking off the laps, trying to get that extra bonus point for leading the most laps. He's already got one for leading the lap. Now he's just got to ticket one more to get the most laps led.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. He's just that line is nice and bright yellow as it can be from the 86, and I'm kind of impressed with the 25 going to Mr. Tremblay here. He doesn't have a truck directly on his bumper. He's had a whole truck length that last lap entirely. He was able to keep the top 2 or 3, mainly because of that side draft. As I mentioned in the pre-race, there's so much side draft these trucks give off because of the big push, because it's such a flat nose, right? It's like a brick wall, just essentially punching in air, allowing everyone to suck up. And as you see it again here, he's got over a truck length behind him, doing it all by himself and maintaining on the second place, number 27 there. So you can definitely just get a good sense of how much aero advantage these trucks give out.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if he was side drafting, if he was just trying to check up the pinup girl on Bobby Terrell's truck there on the side. Either way, though, he was keeping a good run, stepping up front, maybe doing a little bit of both there because, yeah, like you said, there's like a whole car, truck length between them right now, and he's just keeping right there with them. But that's kind of that whole top line there. Everyone's about a truck length away from each other, and the inside 4, I think they're a little bit closer, but everyone else is spread out pretty equal, and haven't seen many bump drafts or anything like that right now. So, again, I think everyone's just taking care of their truck.
I'm going to have to agree with you about the pinup girl. He might have been catching an eye or two. Who knows? But needless to say, he's just doing it on his own. I know he's in a pack of a lot of trucks right behind him, but it's just impressive that he can stay like a whole truck length ahead and still maintain that speed. And he's not even really putting pressure on the door panel of the 27 either. That of Jonathan Varanaskis. And I don't know if these things have been updated recently on my end, but I'm surprised that he's not up against that door getting that side draft and still maintaining.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of staying up there with them, but doesn't want to get too aggressive too early. We still got a long way. I mean, right now we're on lap 20, so we're just a quarter of the way through this race. 20 more racing. I think we're going to see some pit stops coming up here in the next, what would you say, the next 10 laps or so. As we see, actually, right there, just got into the inside lane there. In third place, the 25 of Matthew. Nope, he's come back out now. But it looks like he did fall in line there. He got tired of doing a little bit of side drafting, it looks like.
Yeah, the outside lane kind of broke up there, and the 25 found just enough of a gap to squeeze down, and that's going to bring 6 trucks single file before you start seeing the double file. And yeah, this might be the sign that that pit road window, you said about 10 laps or so, we might see it a little bit earlier just because that early shift there from the lead pack to kind of bring it down to the bottom so much. Don't tell that the 2 trucks up front right now on the top side, they're definitely not be coming down anytime soon, but the guys up front, though, we might see a little bit of a pit strategy. We are just past a quarter of the way through. So we'll see here. I expect the 25 to 30 laps on the window, but it might be a little bit sooner.
Yeah, it might have a little bit of strategy going on there, though. Kind of do some early pit stops. But as we can see, that high line is definitely getting some momentum as we're riding along with Simon Madigan right now in the 46 truck. He was probably 5 or 6 trucks back, and now he's getting right up to the leaders, and it was just him and the 91 rocking that Nerd TV Sinclair truck. They weren't bump draft or anything, just moved their way right on up. So as we see, that high line's definitely got some speed in it. Just no one's really pushing it right now. We're just kind of waiting for a little bit of pit strategy, I would imagine. Kind of waiting to see if people are going to call out when they're coming in for the pits and see if anyone's going to be doing any pre-strategy here.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep my eye out on the chat and my ears open on the radios, and I'm not hearing anybody saying, hey, I'm going to be coming in, so kind of stagnant right now, but they're probably on the team channel. That's probably why I can't hear them, but yeah, Simon right now kind of leading that pack. He was about 7th place 2 laps ago, and now he's competing for 2nd place here, and he's got Kenneth Scholes in that red and yellow Ford there right on his back bumper, and he's going to get to the 86 door panel here, and that 2 trucks, if they can keep it that close, nose to tail, we might see a new leader.
Yeah, if they can, all he has to do is get a little bit of bump draft there, and I think, like you said, he'll be right out in front, and then it's just going to be a matter of is he going to stay up high with them, or are they going to drop down low, kind of like we've seen in the first lap there with the 86 Casey. As soon as he got into the point, you saw him drop down, and it wasn't a bad call because he's been out front this whole entire race. But I'm interested to see what happens once they actually get up to the leader and if they're going to go or not. But that 46 is a teammate with the 27, so there might be something going on there too. See if he lets him kind of come down or get behind him as he got a little close there.
Yeah, Tony Soler there in the number 11 truck, and then you have the 88 right behind him of Mark Dubray. If they need to get up to the back bumper of Kenneth and Simon, if they're going to actually pass the 86, because right now he's in the dominant position in that really, really fast truck. So, and they seem starting to back up here a little bit just because there's that gap in the 3rd and 4th truck in line on the top side. It's just they kind of separate a little bit. They kind of suck up right there in the middle of the back stretch, but that last lap they weren't there, and I think that's why they lost a little bit of ground. But as soon as they sucked up right there, Simon in the 46 is back to the door panel on the 86 of Nicholas Casey.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a little bit of gaps here on the bottom lane. I'm going to see if anyone's going to be jumping down to take those because, like we were saying earlier, pit stops are going to be coming up here shortly. And I think if someone sees a hole on the inside, I think they're going to go for it so they don't lose any spots, but then you get down below because, you don't want to be on that high side where you're trying to pit with anyone, especially if they're not going in the pits. That's going to be a disaster. So I think we're going to start seeing some people kind of make a move and fall down into that inside lane as they're getting ready for pit stops. As we see kind of in the back, they're already looking there, kind of leaning in a little bit, seeing if they can fit their truck or not. So far, no one's been able to make it, but there is some gaps right now.
Matthew Tremblay in that 25 is probably thinking, why did I leave the top lane? Because he had it. He went down to the bottom, and then all these trucks just passed him, and now the 46 Simon has nosed out the 86 just for a short bit here. So he could potentially bin that truck if he would have just waited a few more laps on the top side. So
we see some coming here for pit road, 2 of them dipping off right now.
It looks like 2 or 3 early pit stops have officially started. I don't think it's going to be enough trucks to keep them up front like they want to. I'm not sure what the strategy was. It almost looked like it was the last second call, but we'll see how this plays out once the cycle runs through.
Yeah, I see just 3 of them just took it there. So I don't know if, like you said, I don't know if 3 will be enough, but it might be a strategy they're trying to pull off. They're looking at their, how much fuel they got, and we see that he's taking 2 left side tires there on the 00. Didn't see if he took any rights when he came in, but yeah, I don't know if 3 is going to be enough, but we should see some more pit stops here in just a couple laps.
0021 exit pit road, and yeah, it's just a matter of time before we see anybody else dip this time. Does not look like anybody wants to do so, so there's going to be at least a full lap between them, and that might actually... Sometimes these races come down to fuel mileage, and if you're 2 laps behind on fuel and you have to dip, like, could be a potential harmful situation that they're going to put themselves in. But, we'll tell. If the race stays green the whole way, then that's when it'll come into play. But if there's a caution, then, of course, everyone's going to reset, and that'll be out the window. Yeah,
I'm looking to see what, those 3 trucks that came in. You got the 32, Andrew, and the 00, Steven. They kind of linked up. The 21, Jeff Langston, he is actually a couple, quite a bit in front of them. So they need to link up those 3 so they can stay in front of this pack here and hopefully catch back up once these pit cycles go around. But right now they're spread apart, so that's definitely not going to help with this pit strategy.
No, I don't think it will, and no one dips him down this time as well. So there's going to be at least a few laps of separation between those 3 trucks and everybody else in the field. Which, Kenny, there's a huge field here with the 35 trucks that started this event. So quite an impressive start to the season. Glad to see a lot of numbers, and I'm always a guy for quality over quantity, but if you can pair both together nicely, this is the kind of product that you're seeing on track right now. It's kind of a rare sight nowadays, at least to me in my book, but everyone's doing really nice so far.
Yeah, I'm hearing over the radio. We got the 4. Bobby's coming in to take a pit, so I'm imagining we're going to have a couple more come on down here shortly. I don't imagine him being the only one that's going to be pitting this time. So as we come off of turn 4 heading into the tri-oval, I would imagine we're going to have maybe 5 to 10 trucks coming down. Let's take a look here. No, it's just Bobby by himself. Okay.
By himself? That is going to be very costly. At least he gets down to pit road speed before the line. And Kenny, yeah, that's tragic when he comes to Daytona or Talladega. You need that draft. And so he needs some luck on his side instantly now if he's going to be able to compete in that top pack, because right now this ain't it.
Yeah, he definitely needs to nail that pit stop, get back out there. So worst case, they might go around him on the inside, but we still fall back in line. But yes, having just pitting by yourself, that's definitely not what you want to see out there when you come down to make a pit stop and you look in your rearview mirror and you see the whole field just going right on by you and no one coming down with you. But I hear some more chat on the radio. It sounds like the 71 and the 18 I hear coming down. So let's take a look this time. See how many takers we got.
We were calling it 1 dip, 2 dip, 3 dip. It looks like 4 or 5 in total. So a lot of small packs kind of splitting down to pit road. This is, and I haven't seen this kind of strategy. It's usually 1 big pack or a couple of smaller packs, but right now we've seen a 3 pack, a 1 single truck, and then 5 on this one. So very small packs. Very curious to know if it's just team oriented on this one or what the deal is.
Yeah, and it looks like one of them looks like they overshot their pit. I'm not sure who that was. I saw on the Nerd TV there. It looks like he had to put it in reverse a little bit. 51 truck is what I'm seeing here. Went ahead and had to put that in reverse. So he's going to lose some time on that, which is unfortunate. So hopefully he doesn't come off too far behind these trucks on pit road. But it looks like I think we had 6 in total actually on that pit stop. So it's a little bit more, but as we see these laps come off, we're going to have a little bit more come in this time. There's going to be no takers on this one. So I think that big pack that you were mentioning coming in down pit road, I think we're going to see it here in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, we're on lap 31, so they've actually surpassed my fuel window, but they're the ones talking to the teams, knowing when that fuel strategy, when to play it, when to come down for pit road. And actually, Bobby Terrell in that 4, who pitted by himself, did make it back to the first 3 that pitted, the 21, the 00, and the 32. So that's actually a 4-truck pack there. He was saved, and thankfully he was able to grab them, because if not, he was going to have a tough time getting back up to anywhere.
Yeah, that's good. And they can go into a little bit more numbers now. I hear the 17's going to be coming down here. Well, it looks like he's not coming this time. I thought he said on the radio he was going to be coming down this time, but it looks like we just have the 6 car of James Torres coming down pit road right now.
Yeah, the big pack still just kind of hanging out here as laps tick away. You do see the 6 and that candy apple red Ford F-150 hit his mark. Perfect stop there. He's going to get some fuel and get going here. We see the lead pack starting to come up on these lap trucks now. In just a moment, the 51 Brandon Elder about to fall to the wayside of the huge front pack here. Hopefully everyone gets through that nice and cleanly, which I do expect that to happen. We see the 86 on chat. I think he's coming down this time by, so this might bring a big pack of trucks, Kenny.
I think so. Yeah, that 51 Brandon Elder's getting passed right now on the side. He's the one that put it in reverse on the pit, so that definitely cost him. Took some time away. So let's see how many takers we got on this one. It looks like we just got one. So, man, they're kind of tricking us here. We're thinking there's going to be more and more, and it's just one at a time coming off. But again, that's going to be another one that's hopefully he can find someone in that draft, find that 4-car draft there, because by himself again, that's going to be definitely some trouble for him.
This is just really odd to me. It's the second time now in this first set of green flag stops that we've seen one truck come down, no takers, and 86 was pretty dominant there. I'm surprised not at least one other person followed him down pit road. Maybe he can latch onto that 4-truck pack just like the Ford did a few laps ago and keep himself in the draft, because he's going to need that for sure. But Kenny, I'm really surprised at how the strategy is playing out so far.
Yeah, right now I hear the leaders are coming in, though. You got the 27, 25, 46, 91 drop down. I think we got a big pack coming in here on pit road. So, oh yeah, here comes everybody right now, Jeremy.
Here is the split. Half of those remaining trucks are down. The rest zoom by. Looks like we got about 9 or 10 trucks here. Don't have 53.
Oh, no.
Yep, too heavy on the brake pedal, trying to get his truck stopped, and looped it into the inside wall there. Not much damage, but it's enough to maybe lose the draft once he exits his pit stop. We'll have to find out here shortly. But that's costly there for Flanagan.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him extra bonus points. So he hit the wall, 360, spun around, got it going. He didn't lose too much time. I think he's going to be, of course, be hurt on the damage more than anything. But it's at least a nice little save that he pulled off after he touched the wall there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to...
you're going to do it in style.
Do it in style, basically. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of damage, gave us a little bit of a show. Hopefully it didn't affect him, but yeah, I mean, doing a 360, I'll give him some style points. How about that? And we do see the other pack has not come down yet, so we still got some leader stop there. 32 in the 4, and the 6, they have all gotten with that pack now as well after getting put down a lap. So at least they got some extra draft help until they dip down, but you see right now on the Nerd TV, the 53, that replay of him looping it around, getting those style points from the broadcast crew at Nerd TV. Why not showcase them by putting them on TV? So I'm just waiting for these lead trucks to come down pit road, and which actually we see it. Yeah, there they go. They went down pit road. We got a few more. Got the 11, Tony Soler, Brody Hanna, Richie Coy. Quite a few more trucks do come down. That's going to nearly complete the cycle.
Yeah, now we got a lot of, as you see going by on those cars that just come off pit road, it looks like we have a pack of about 9 of them right now that's kind of teamed up. So that pack that had 3 then grew to 4 and 5, and that pack's going to continue to grow. But as we see coming on pit road here, the rest of the pack came down, and it was a close call there, but it looks like everyone got in nice and clean. So that's good so far. 43 a little bit sideways in his pit, but he made it in there perfectly.
42 almost ran into the back of the 43. They're getting really woed up there in those Toyota Tundras. You see the 75, at least on my end, his brake rotors were glowing red. That shows you how hard he was on the binders trying to get woed up. But this is the remaining pack here, and so we should be able to see everything kind of cycle through after these guys get back going to full speed.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at this pack here of Lane Allen that's in the lead here, as you can see on the Nerd TV. I'm going to see if he cycles around becoming the leader, or if they're going to be, catching up to the ones that pit in the last group there. But I think when this thing cycles around, he might either be the leader of this new group, or going to be very close to it. So that's one to keep an eye on.
88 gets a little bit loose there on the apron right before he gets on exiting onto the racing surface, and that would up to 43 behind him in the 42. Slight checkup, but nothing too harmful there. They get back going right in front of this big pack here, so a lot of the trucks should be able to kind of rejoin and put on the show for us before the next cycle of green flag stops.
Yeah, what I'm seeing here is we're going to have all these packs, should somewhat come together eventually, because we got some that are a little bit less than others, one's a little bit more cars. So if those trucks can kind of single file get walked in and and draft their way to the front. I think we'll see these packs shortly start coming back together. Looks like the 75 missed his pit, so he had to come on down for another pit stop here. Unfortunate for that. That is definitely going to be a costly mistake.
Yeah, that's huge. He did slide it quite a bit, had to put it in reverse, and then even if it's just a half a stall like that, that cost probably 4 seconds or so, which we know that's detrimental to this kind of racing. So he's gonna have to get lucky and find another pack as well, which you see the 8 or the 53 zoom by him right now. It's gonna be tough for him to get back from there, but I'm sure he can. He'll find somebody eventually, right? That you, without draft, you're gonna be falling into someone's clutches for sure. Looked like Lane Allen resumed the lead from that last lap. Actually, Simon Madigan took the lead on this lap time. So it looks like they're kind of fully cycled through at this point.
Yeah, you can see Lane Allen, he was winning that pack, but the 46 truck is fighting back strong like we saw before the pit stops. Simon in that 46 is still running on the outside. He's got the 27 right behind him. So those two, those are those teammates, though, of Rumble Racing. So I'm not going to be surprised if they're going to be pushing their way to the front the whole entire race. Right now, they've been kind of staying up there, and it seems like they're wanting to stay like that until this thing ends.
Still surprising me. It's 3 on 10, and they're able to maintain. That side draft is huge right now, coming off of turn number 4. Actually, it goes down to 2 on 11. As you see, the 13 dip down to the 4th truck in line on the bottom, and now Simon in the 27 there just have to get really tucked up nose to tail. I think at this point, if they're going to try to keep up in front of the 14 and the 33, but they're doing a hell of a job so far.
Yeah, this Rumble Racing is, I believe it's going to be packed full of a bunch of rookies between, right now the 46 and the 27. Those two teammates are rookies this year in the series. With their also the other two teammates, the 27, the 31, the 46, and the 50. You got Martin Simon, Jonathan, and Alex. All 4 of those are rookies this year, and so far they're showing a strong show for what they can bring to this truck series.
I did notice on the side of my eye there that Dean Gear in the 92 did dip down pit road and exit his truck, and he is out of the server. He is the first truck out of this evening, so he'll be finishing in 35th officially. I don't know if he had some engine trouble or what, but his day is done early. But going back to the pack here, we see the high side starting to kick up a little bit. Looks like we got the 18 of Brian Bliss joining in alongside with the 71 of Casey McMullen, who was in the back of that pack there early on the race, but right now he's found himself in the top 10.
Yeah, I tried to go back and see what happened with Gear there, and looks like he just all of a sudden just dropped out of serve. I don't know if he had a connection issue or not, but that's unfortunate for him, the start of the race, and being the first one out of this is definitely going to take a hit on the points. But as we see, everyone's going to Webb with a 17 right now as he's kind of falling back as they going to be putting him a lap down. Maybe he can get a caution and get that lucky dog by chance. If not, he's going to be fighting his way to get that lap back.
Leading the halfway point, it'll be Lane Allen by 7/1000ths of a second over Simon Madigan in that 46 Chevrolet. So as you see, it is really tight there for the front spot and for all spots in general, as we got everyone back to side by side just how they started.
Yeah, all these groups just kind of pushing back together. We got 18 in this lead pack right here. So everyone kind of paired back up like you said. It's going to kind of single back out to what it was, where it was a bunch of 2-wide racing, kind of just falling back in line, trying to make it to the end. Still nothing that's too aggressive right now. Like I said, not seeing very much bump draft, but I don't know if they really need it, because as we see on this high line, they can just do it with 2 trucks if they want.
Oh yeah, since they are back and everything's green flag and everything's nice and stable, we're going to take our last commercial break for this evening. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you guys in just a few short moments.
to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MakoniSetupShop.com and learn why Makoni Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, and again after this commercial break, not too much has gone on. We see the 14 of Lane Allen kind of take over the top spot over Simon here as he's sole possession of first, and second place the 33 Sherwood Williford all over his back bumper right there off the exit. Turn number 2 give him a good shove, and the 46 and 27 right now are two trucks all by themselves, Kenny.
Yeah, those Rumble and Racing trucks on the outside, they're just trying to fight it the whole time. It's just those two. They're not having any help. They're keeping right up with the leaders on the inside that, as you can see, is kind of running that pack. They're 4, 5, 6 trucks ahead of that outside there. But the 46 and the 27 of that Rumble Racing power is just keeping right up with them. But you saw a little side draft there between the 46 and the 14 there in our commercial break. And a couple times I thought they were going to touch, but they kept it clean, nice and close. Good racing, but they're coming up on this lap car, so we're going to see a little bit of 3 wide as they go around them here.
Car needs to get to the top side here to get everyone clear. He's kind of like running back and forth. There he goes, right up against the wall, and looks like they're going to pass him nice and neatly, no issue whatsoever. And that side draft is still impressing me, Kenny. Ooh, 11 got next to the 41 there as he's trying to clear him in turn 3, but That side draft, 2 trucks running all by themselves against a huge line of trucks on the bottom. And they're able to keep the same speed. I'm not sure where they're getting that kind of momentum.
One thing, I wish I was out there with them right now because I love riding on that high side and just trying to go out there and make moves when there's no moves to be made except, you don't want to cause a caution or anything, but you want to have fun with it. And that's what those guys are doing right now. It's just those two. The 11 truck jumped up there, so they got 3 up there now, but I bet they're having a blast. It's the 2 of them trying to keep up with that inside line and just side draft them off every turn. Love to see it. But we see a little bit of battling going on in the back there as well. You got a couple of trucks that are going jostling for position there, but up front, everything's kind of just staying as it was all race.
Yeah, and you see a little bit of that quarter panel damage there on the 46 to Simon. Not sure exactly where that all entailed to begin with. I know it's been there for a few laps. Just figured I'd point that out to you guys. It's not really affecting him, as you can see. And actually, we're seeing a couple trucks dip out super early. I think it's the 21. Yeah, the 21 and the 00 and the 32, the same trucks that pitted the very first time earlier on this evening. And they brought a 4th truck with them. It looks like maybe the 42, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 42. So we got 4 trucks that entered pit road this time, and this should be their final green flag stop this evening.
Yeah, it's the Buzz Off Racing teammates are coming down again. Looks like they worked out a strategy before they started this race, and looks like they wanted the short pit and kind of drown it out because we saw that last run. I think it went to about 34, 35 laps on these low lap trucks. So right now, they can get back to where they were when they started out. They'll actually have enough fuel to end this thing, and it worked out for them the last time. They actually ended up coming out pretty close to being in the top spot. So I think they're trying a little bit of strategy. We got a couple right here coming off. We got 4 more dipping well. You got the leader coming down, the 14 of Steve now, and he's coming down. Oh, we got a wreck in the try over here.
We got to wreck the first one this evening. It's a big pile up. The 4's around the 23, 50, 53, the 1, 75, and a couple others as well, the 6. Man, that's a huge pile up, and those guys that pitted, thankfully they didn't hit the pit stall just yet. They can probably exit back on track and be just fine to keep their spots, but that's a heavy amount of damage from a lot of trucks.
Number 4 there, Bobby Terrell, looks like he got heavy damage, and he's one that we were looking for that was going to make his way up to the front. He's got a lot of damage. I think we got about 10 trucks in that. Let's take a look over at Nerd TV to see what exactly happened there. As I was looking on pit road, I saw off the tri-oval just a couple trucks spinning down off the tri-oval there, inside wall and everything.
A little bit of shakeup going on here. It looks like Bobby Terrell just got collected as he was trying to check up to the field that was wrecking right in front of him. It's hard to tell from that particular angle of why he was checking up. Looks like a couple more trucks had got in contact with each other right as they got to the start-finish line and caused that mayhem here. As we try to get at that better angle here on the Nerd TV screen. That's just really unfortunate for Bobby. He was just trying to woe up and got collected on accident.
Yeah, it looks like he said he just was trying to slow up, got pushed right into it, and unfortunately they just hit head on. So those 2 trucks immediately just took hard hit head on there. And then after that, he went right up to the top of the track and then just collected a couple more. And I don't think that 4 truck's going to be able to come back out here tonight. That's unfortunate.
As you just saw from the rear camera of the number 27, Jonathan Varanauskas, he just turned heavy down to the right side nose of the 25 there and turned himself, and it caused that huge checkup with everybody else and caused that huge pile up. And I saw the 4 as well. Bobby, his engine did expire. He is done for this evening as well. As we got a heads-on view here of Bobby,
hard hit.
Ramps the 27's nose, gets carried like he's in a crowd surf event there for a little bit, and then settles in right there on the top side of the track. That is just super unfortunate.
Yeah, I think his truck was just trying. I think it was living up to that paint scheme a little bit too much. It was trying to take flight there a little bit, but that's unfortunate that he is done for the night. A couple other ones are going to have some damage. I think there was a couple other ones I saw their motors have expired, so they are out as well. This is going to shake up the field a little bit. A lot of good drivers have some damage or are out of the race. I'm interested to see now who's going to be the pack leaders. I know who was up there up front. They avoided everything, but we had some good trucks in the back that definitely took a hit.
Yeah, there was, I think, at least 9 or 10 trucks that did have damage after everything settled down. And, at least they're at a 2.5 mile super speedway where they have plenty of time to get things worked on. It's just the aerodynamics are super important at this kind of track. Hopefully most of them, if all of them, can get back onto the racing surface fully repaired and maintained with the field. But it's going to be, one of those things we'll have to find out once the green flag drops. But once again, super unfortunate circumstance there. It's just one truck turns down, and then everybody else is just playing victim.
Yeah, and I'm looking right now. Looks like Truck Sweetening, he's out of the race. Jonathan Veronoctis is out of the race. Unfortunate for that. Bobby Terrell, I don't think he's going to be able to get back in the race. So there's, the 27 and the 4 there, 2 strong trucks that are now out of this race.
While these trucks are kind of settling behind the pace cars, we got about a lap or so before we go back to green flag. I'd like to do a quick shout out to Sim Racing Points. They are an all-inclusive league points management system that allows league owners and administrators to the ability to completely track their league and statistics and points with a simple upload. Sim Racing Points does not stop there. For the avid webmasters out there, they also allow the creation of custom widgets for any league website to fully display points, results, and more that easily update when the results are uploaded. With just a few simple clicks of the mouse, any league can be up and running and looking good while doing it. Check out their pricing plans at www.simracingpoints.com. They are the official sponsor of tonight's truck race, the Daytona 200. As they get double file now behind the pace car, that means there's 1 lap left. The 11 currently is in first place. Tony Soler, he's like to hit the bottom. I think we saw one, Sherwood Williford with the lucky dog, if I'm not mistaken. And actually Brody's catching up to the field as well. I think he had some damage repair though, so quite a few trucks in a different position than what we just saw 5 laps prior.
Yeah, I'm not sure who caught the lucky dog on that one. Hopefully, I believe you were correct with that as far as it being Sherwood there in the 33 car, truck there rather. But I'm not sure if they were in the wreck or not, because there was quite a bit that was in that pile up.
Yeah, absolutely. We see him right now on Nerd TV. He is cycling back behind the field, so I do believe he was the lucky dog recipient for sure. We got everyone in turn 3. That means we got a corner or so before we go back to green flag racing. New set of trucks out here in the front that we haven't seen all night. Tony Soler's been there in the top 5, so he's kind of familiar, but everybody else just kind of cycled back. Some of those trucks that were trying to play it safe, they got cycled into the top 10 and then got involved in that wreck. So even though they played their position early, it kind of still got affected by the wreck. But we see the pace car dip down. 11 truck hits the go pedal. Green flag is out. The 42. Zach McDaniel tries to hold on with Tony, but just not enough as Tony got a good jump on the restart.
Yeah, who really worked out in this one was the Buzz Off Racing. They came in for that short pit again, and now look at all 5 of those trucks that came down on that short pit are actually leading this field. With the 46 and the 14, who was the leader before that caution came out, they're right behind them there. So I expect those two to be making a move towards the front. But as we see, the 11 and the 13 are now kind of dropped down single file as that wheel line is just taking off as they're heading down the super stretch. Oops, got the 71 jump to the outside.
Yeah, excellent point there with that team to play that strategy, and it fell in their hands so perfectly as they were able to avoid everything with ease as everybody else had to scramble. And we do see the 71 take the charge up front with the Oreo machine directly behind him with that 21 of Jeff Langston. We see one truck dip down. I think that was the 14.
You're correct, 14,
yes. And one other person behind him as well. A couple of trucks pitting. I'm not sure if they have extra damage and everyone feeling okay, but that's going to play costly as everything should have cycled through. That's actually the 33 of Sherwood as well, who was your lucky dog recipient. Not sure if they didn't just take gas or whatnot, but this is going to take them out of contention unless we have another caution.
Yeah, that hurts there for the 14 truck because he was out front there the whole night. Wayne Allen, I think he was in the lead before that pit stops, and he actually came down before that caution too. So I'm not sure what happened with that one. I'll have to get a little bit more information on that and let y'all know. But as we see right now, it's still single file. You got the 71 on the high side, trying to make a run up to the front because we know that high side does have the momentum to get up there. But right now they're just kind of going still too wide racing. Nothing, no bump drafting, nothing crazy right now. So hopefully let's see what we got going on down here. We've got the 11 heading in the turn 1, still leading the way.
Top 15 side by side, and then everybody else is basically single file behind them, kind of playing it easy as we've now seen one wreck and they know what that looks like. And so you got those trucks that are, we got 22 laps to go as soon as they get to the line this time by. There's still plenty of time to get up there, but play it conservative a few more laps before you start making that charge to the front.
Yeah, and as I'm hearing on the radio, it looks like the one of Kevin Rupert's got a little bit of damage going on. He's not really able to keep up with the draft, so he's got the 23 of Brody Hanna behind him. He's seeing if he can push him. They both got a little bit on the rear end damage there, you can see. So they're kind of just cruising along. That's unfortunate there for Brody Hanna, as we saw him in the duels on Monday. He was a dominant car at that time, and he had a pretty good truck tonight, but looks like that damage is going to hold them back there. And it's just a little three-pack race between those damaged cars, unfortunately.
Yeah, the majority of that speed deficiency is going to be from that nose of the one. It's not enough, or it's not a lot, but it's just enough at a super speedway to kind of hinder your performance on that truck. Not so much on the rear, but the nose is definitely vital to keep that thing up and running up front. But going back up to the front, we see about the top 16 or 17 now actually go side by side. So we got a little bit extra momentum here in the main pack. 3 trucks on the inside all by themselves as they exit turn number 4.
And as they're coming off turn 4, you still got the 11 truck, as you see, coming with 21 laps to go. We're almost three-fourths of the way through with this race as he's taking the point. He's looking to hold out front. He's got a couple of teammates there behind him. The 00 and the 42 of McDaniel. He's actually the lone truck there without his teammates around him. So he's going to see, probably just kind of sitting in line right now, seeing if he can make a move later on in the race.
Yeah, just kind of chilling here for a little bit as we are on currently lap number 60, so that's 21 to go before the race is all said and done. I think at this point, Kenny, the guys in the back that have a good truck still, they got to start making their moves here shortly, because this side-by-side action, there's not much area to pass. So you're going to have to start forcing some 3 wides or just kind of, like I said, get in position a little bit early and jump around. Looks like the bottom is probably the fastest lane overall. I'm kind of guessing at this point as we see the 3 trucks still kind of just, single file out front. The 00's got a little pressure on the 71 from Casey McMullen, battling for third. But I don't know. You have to find your lane now if you're in the back to make that run up to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you want to be up strong to the finish here, you need to, as you said, pick a lane, go with it, and kind of start making some moves. We see, the 2 fast trucks that were been up front all day is the 25 and the 46. They're a couple rows back right now, so I expect them to start making a move. Even the 91 there, he was up front for quite a bit as well. Kenny Schultz in that Nerd TV Sinclair car. I expect him to start making his way up to there as well. I think we won't see anything. I think they're just kind of way back for the next 10 laps or so. Slowly start picking off as we see that top line starting to come in. They're slowly starting to make their way up. And then with 10 to go, I think it's just going to be go at it, boys, and see what they can get.
You see we're on board right now with Christopher there in that silver and greenish blue Chevy Silverado on the back bumper of Tony Soler in that green and white Menards is that Pablo? No, Diablo's Ford F-150. And right up to the bumper there, I mean, there's no tandeming in these trucks, so that, he's just increasing the temperature a little bit, but just trying to keep those few trucks up front. Make sure that high side doesn't get the momentum that they need.
Yeah, speaking of the high side, we have a couple trucks that jumped up there. We have the 88 there. Mark, he just jumped up to the high side. He's going to add another truck up there. I think we probably see a couple more that's going to jump up there, make a run. Got a 25 was looking there. He might just be trying to get some air into that engine. But right now, they're still, 2x2, about 4 rows back, and we got one coming back on the track here, the 50s. Got some damage, but he's definitely trying to pick up some more points before this thing ends.
The top 15 still trying to decide side by side. Everybody else still single file behind him. The 60 kind of joins to the top side there behind the 88 rather. So not really too much shifting right now. I mean, we've seen a couple trucks shift from the high lane to the bottom and vice versa, but it hasn't been too much overall here as we're on lap 63, 18 laps to go in the Daytona 200. Right now, I think the leaders are in a really good position, especially that team, the Buzzword team that pitted all, by themselves. They really have set themselves up for a good finish here.
Yeah, the 00 there and the 21, those 2 teammates, I think they're going to link up, and then they're going to be making a run for it. You got 71, Casey McMullen. We know he's super strong, so I expect him to be fighting for it as well. I don't see any teammates around him right now, so he might be trying to work off with the Buzz Off Racing because there's quite a bit of those up front. Like I said, the 00 in front of him and the 21 behind him. So if those 3 can kind of link up, I think they might make a run for this 11. So we head down the backstretch. They're still just 2 wide, about 10 rows deep.
Yeah, what I've seen is that they can just get a little bit closer to the door of the inside line here like they're doing right now. I think that's going to provide them enough side draft to get up there. We've seen less cars do it in a quicker amount of time, so I know it can be done. We just got to see how they form and, keep the throttle nice and smooth. You can't be checking up on the outside line or else you'll decrease that momentum. So as long as they keep it nice and smooth and tucked in, they'll definitely get there. As you see, they kind of get around the 42 almost, so they're getting there. They just need a little bit of that extra something to make it to the top two trucks.
Yeah, Casey McMullen, hopefully we're getting some pushing here. And like I said, just a little bit extra push is all they need, a little bit bump draft, and that'll get their way up there. That inside lane, though, they've been kind of keeping it nice and straight, especially, the front two there, the 11 of Tony and the 13 of Chris. Both of those two have just been painting that yellow line since this restart, and they're just staying ahead. They're about 2 car lengths ahead of that outside line at all times, no matter if they catch a run or not. And in that 00, if he gets a little bit more side draft, I think he'll kind of push his way up there. You see him every lap just kind of dipping down a little lower every time, just getting a little closer, getting a little bit more of that air off of him, trying to get a little bit closer to the front two.
Yeah, just getting a little more comfortable doing so. As you said, yeah, he was dipping and dipping. It's not consistently down there, but I think if he wants to get there, he's going to have to tuck into the inside or the outside door panel, the 42 and the 7, to kind of get that good launch off the corner with the side draft. We got about 7 trucks on the top right now, then everybody else is currently on the bottom. You see him go around the 50 truck there as he is heavily damaged, completely out of contention right there. And looks like the outside actually lost a little bit more momentum. The 00s dropped back to 5th place behind the 7 there, so a little bit of a hiccup on the top side.
Yeah, this is in the 46, actually. I was just going to say, it's killing him sitting on the high side because he was one of those 2 cars that was kind of leading that top side there, but he just dropped down to the low side, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him take up to the low side, get in front of that 00 and try to lead that high pack deck to the front. As we're coming up on another lap car, he's staying up high, though, so we shouldn't have any issues. Going to be a little 3 wide for a little bit here, and I'm going to be watching that 46 there, Jeremy. I think he's going to, as soon as he clears that outside, if he gets a chance, I wouldn't be surprised if he jumps up to the high side.
He very well could. I know a couple of these trucks have been committed to the bottom since the drop of the green flag, like Wayne Grassy there and the number 7 Pennzoil Chevrolet. I got the 15 directly behind him, that being Nicholas Morel, and they've been dedicated to that bottom for the most part. I know Tony Soler was kind of back and forth, but since he's the lead truck, he's committed to that bottom because currently right now that fast lane is the bottom.
Yeah, and as we see here, Tony Soler, he's just sitting there just every lap, just taking off another lap as we come down, wind these laps down. He's hoping that he can just keep this thing, 2 cars ahead of that outside lane and hopefully bring this home P1. But as we see that 00, he's doing a little bit of side drafting here on the 13 as they were coming into turn 1, coming off of 2, and he's trying to make a run for that top spot.
That momentum is finally shifted to the top, and he is making a good run door to door with the number 13 of Chris Stouffer, and he's got Tony Soler on his sights. He wants to get around him, and that top side actually, Kenny, checked up pretty big. They're entering turn number 3, and he's going to drop back a couple trucks back to the 7 of Wayne.
Yeah, it did. It definitely checked up as soon as he got in there in 3 and 4. I think if they're going to want to get a run up there, he's going to have to use some of that side draft the whole way through and just keep it down, keep that 71 pretty close to him. Because as we saw, as soon as they come off of that and they get a little separation, they just kind of stall out there on the high side, and they're not getting that run like they were as they're heading into turn 1 and 2 here. We see them still side by side. Those first 2 cars, though, they're still just keeping that distance away from everyone. Those are going to be, I think, the 2 to beat. We're going to have someone pair up and make a run for them.
Jeff Langston in that 21 Chevrolet, sponsored by the Oreos. That truck, I think, is that hitch there. He needs to tuck in with the 71 and the 00 to make that move right now. He keeps dipping to the top side, a little bit outside the draft of the front 2 trucks on the top side right now, like he's doing right there. And I think that's just kind of killing that momentum on exit, which they desperately need to get to the 11. So if they can get on chatter with him and keep him directly sucked in behind Casey, I think that's when you're going to see that major shift to change that top spot.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that. Yeah, he's a little bit high, looking well. Yeah, I think if he just falls in with them, they'll make this run and get it going here because, yeah, like you said, it's just stalling him out. As we see a run here from the outside on the 00, he is coming up on the 11. He's going to be making a run going into 3 and 4, so if they can hold it down and get that side draft going, we might see Steven Vrooman, sorry about that. He might be taking that lead coming off of 3 and 4, but they're just dropping back again as the 11 and 13 are still pulling away.
Turn 3 entrance seems to be their kryptonite so far as they get a huge run off of turn 2 and just, for some reason, everyone just stacks up and is not even on the throttle. We see the 21 check up there entering the trial even, given extra separation from the 71 and 00. So I think that's playing a huge part of it. And the 18 as well needs to get to the back of the 21 a little bit closer to really kind of drive this lead right now. But right now, this ain't it.
Yeah, and as we see here, we have 10 laps to go, so this is when I start thinking people are going to be making some runs. We're going to be seeing some moves, might even have some 3-wide going on. We do see some jostling back there. Looks like the 88. He's kind of going back and forth. Mark's looking high, looking low, seeing where he can find a line, trying to find some speed anywhere he can. Right now, these trucks are spread out. You got the 21. 71 is right up on the 00, but yeah, like you said, that 21's just kind of laying back a little bit. Now, I don't know if he's working on a strategy to make a run himself, but if he just compares up there, they can definitely get a run, as you see the 60 drop down to the inside lane as well.
Vrooman had a little bit of an extra momentum there. The 42, Zach McDaniel, kind of dropped back in turn 3 off the back bumper of the 13 of Chris, and I think that allowed the 00 to kind of get back there, but as soon as he sucked back in to Chris's bumper, then the 00 again drops back to where he's currently been running, which is 3rd and 4th place. And they actually lost a couple trucks that they've all kind of dipped to the bottom, knowing that that's where the momentum's at right now. So that's not playing in favor of this top line. 00 had a slight chance to dip down in front of Wayne, does not do it. Steven's going to remain on the top, leading Casey back in 5th place currently.
Yeah, and as they're coming here on the tri-oval, you still have the 11 here of Tony Sawyer just leading off there. As they head into it, more and more trucks are driving down to that inside line. Casey McMullen, he's still pushing though. He's trying to get up there with Steven Verman. They're just trying to get up to that top pack. They just can't seem to do it, unfortunately. In the back here, they're kind of separating as well. Hopefully they get some build up and maybe can make a run for it. But if this high side wants to make a run for this inside lane, they need to start getting a little bit more trucks up there and a little bit more side drafting, or it's going to be that inside lane all day.
Especially with 7.5 laps to go, they need to really just gather what they can up. You see the outside start to pick up a little bit of extra momentum as a few trucks toward the back have sucked up to the 18 of Brian and a couple other trucks. And if they can pick up a few more people that can just solidly push them to the front, I think they might have a better chance. I think the 42 even, I think he's going to be one of those trucks to watch to dump to the top side here. I've seen his truck been dipping, or going up rather, a couple times to try to maybe test out, like the 13's doing right there. They're kind of feeling it out, see what the side draft feels like, because they have that little bit of extra breathing room with no one on the top currently.
I agree with you there on that 13. I've been watching him in every turn 1 and 2. Every time you see him in coming up, and I'm not sure if he's just kind of catching some air, if he's practicing for his last couple of laps, because as we've seen, you can have a truck on the outside, even just 2 of them going on that inside, and as long as you get that side draft and get the momentum, you can make that pass. So I wouldn't be surprised seeing that 13, 42 kind of jump up there and take the momentum with that 00 and try to push it to the front with a couple laps to go as we're coming down with 6 to go.
00, Steven Verman still leading the charge on the top, currently sitting between 3rd and 4th place. And he's got a decent push here from Casey McMullen in the 71 Chevrolet. He's almost to the back bumper of 13 of Chris Stouffer. And this is the best I've seen him in about 10 to 15 laps or so, as they got a good charge off of turn 2.
Yeah, here they come on down the super stretch here. You got the 00 of Steven Verman. He is trying to get that run again. You got the 21s actually getting right up to him. This 3-car pack on the outside is going to be making a run as they're heading into 3 and 4. Let's see if they can hold it. He needs to get a little bit more side draft on there to kind of keep that momentum going. As we see, the 11 and the 13 are still just keeping that 2-truck gap. As soon as you get that run on the high side, it looks like they lose it in the corner, and those 2 trucks just pull away. And the 42, he's kind of getting right there even. So he might be the one, I think, that you're going to be, like you said, seeing make that jump to the outside.
There has been a slight wind shift. It's going from east to southeast now, and I don't know if that's playing a part. That back half of the backstretch entering turn number 3, we just see a huge shift of momentum go to the bottom every single time. And I'm not almost certain it's due to the wind change, really, more so than just how the trucks are running, because the trucks seem pretty stable for the most part. So maybe it's just the wind that's pushing them back. We see him going to turn number 3 again, and the 42, Steven Vrooman, just clears the 00. Steven Room is the 00. The 42 does take him completely there into turn 3. I don't know if that may be being part of it, not too sure, but they are coming to the line right now with 4 laps remaining.
Yeah, that is definitely a possibility of that wind causing an effect there as they're heading in the 3 and 4, because you do see them as they go in there, they kind of back off. But as they're heading in the 1 and 2 here, they're still keeping a 2-truck length gap from them. Those 2 trucks are still out in front. That double zero, he's definitely not giving up. He's fighting along this top side, and he's trying to make it work. And he could just be sandbagging. You never know. He could be just kind of laying back there, waiting for these last couple laps, and then he's going to just hit the pedal to the metal and possibly take it out. But as they're heading in 3 and 4, you can see the 13 giving a real good push into the 11 as they head into turn 3.
That would be an excellent game of possum if that is the case here. They're in exiting turn number 4 right now. Going to be 3 laps to go at the line. We see a couple trucks in the back kind of shift toward the bottom. 6 trucks currently on the top, about 10 or 11 on the bottom. The momentum still on the bottom at this time. We see the double zero kind of make his good push there, almost to the 13, just like we see every other lap entering turn number 1, but turn number 3 is still that kryptonite area for the top lane. We see the 21 actually really fall back from Casey. And there needs to be something that's going to change if they're going to get to the front, because right now Tony's at the point and he's looking really healthy.
Tony is looking very strong right now as we're coming in the 3 and 4, coming up on 2 laps to go. You can tell we're getting down to the bottom here because you got all these trucks are kind of going back and forth, looking for some spots, trying to see where the best spot is to gain the position. I'm waiting for someone to make a move. We got the 21. I don't know if he's looking to go 3 wide. He might have just got a little bit squirrely there as he's coming into the tri-oval. But as we're coming with 2 laps to go, they're heading into turn 1 and 2. I'm waiting for someone to make a move. If they're not going to do it coming off of this lap, it's definitely going to be on the next one.
Keep your eye on the 13 of Chris Stouffer. He's actually got the double zero of Steven Vrooman to his high side. He was dipping quite low than up high the lap before. I think he is ready to make that move, but Vrooman currently has shut the door on that high side, is finally getting there as Vrooman is almost side by side with Tony entering turn 3.
Yeah, but as you see, the 13 of Chris Stouffer is just giving that 11 Tony Soler push every time heading into turn 3, just giving him a massive shove. As you see, it's 3 truck lengths ahead. That's putting that 42 in that position to jump up to the high side if he wants, but I'm waiting for it as we're coming to the final lap. But who's it going to be that's going to jump up to the high side, or are we just going to stay low and try to make a pass coming off the floor on this next lap as we come to the final lap?
White flag is in the air. Everyone's still in the same position. We are just waiting for the matter of time before we see that shift. I think the 13 right now is going to do that. He is wants to make that move as they exit turn number 2 right about now.
And as they're coming off for turn 2, they're still saving single file on the bottom line. We got the double zero on the outside, going to be seeing if he can get that momentum shift going. I'm waiting for that 13 or the 42 to make a move, but right now they're just staying locked on the bottom. There's no really move for them to move up top because the double zero's coming in as they're heading into turn 3. But right now, there's still this top 2. A little bit higher. Looks like 11's going to throw it a block there to make sure they don't have him pass, but as we're coming off of turn 4.
Vrooman had his best chance possible, did not make it happen as he's tucking up nice and close, but Tony Soler playing the safety line all the way through the last lap and wins the Daytona 200. We see a couple trucks looping in the back after they cross the start-finish line. Does not affect the final result, but Tony Soler gets it done here in the season opener.
That's the way you love to see racing. Go across the line, no accidents. As soon as you get across the line, go ahead and wad it up if you want. No big deal. The race is done. But that's how you love to see it, because if they're wrecking coming up to the line, they were battling hard for that final position. But Tony Soler, he played it smart after that restart there, kept it on the inside. The whole race just painted that yellow line. He had great push from Chris Stover. He's definitely going to be thanking him after the race because he stuck with him the whole race, and he came home P1, and it's Chris right there with P2.
Yeah, I think actually the winning moment might have been when Vrooman in the double zero he actually maintained the right rear bumper of the 13 of Chris entering turn number 3, which we have not seen the entire back half of this race until that last lap. And it kind of blocked the 13. He wanted to shift high. It looked like his car kept moving, but he just couldn't get clear of the double zero, and he couldn't get that run that he wanted, and it kind of locked Tony into that victory there. He just had to do his thing on the bottom like he had been doing, and that kind of solidified things, I think, in my book, and gave him that nice, easy shot there for the victory.
Absolutely. I think that was the winning moment right there. You can tell he wanted to go high, and I thought the double zero might have had a chance there at the end. He started getting a run, but it just wasn't enough. Not enough time to get to it. But still a nice little third place there. But I think Chris, when he realized he couldn't go to the high side, he said, you know, let me just follow in line. We take P2. It's going to be a great points day. Going to go into the next race, second in points. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes, for sure. And as we kick it over to the Martin Sports post-race show, we're going to actually bring up the grid as well, or the official results for that matter, sponsored by Sim Racing Points. Leading off the top 10, looks like we have Tony Soler. Second place is Chris Stouffer. Third place, Stephen Vrooman. Fourth place is Zach McDaniel. Fifth place, Casey McMullen. We have sixth place, Wayne Grassy. Seventh place, Jeff Langston. Eighth place is going to be Nicholas Morel. Ninth, Brian Bliss. And 10th place, Matthew Tremblay.
And in 11th place, you have Richie Coy in that 19 truck. 12th is Simon Madgen. 13th is going to be Mark Dubry. 14th is Alex Murphy. 15th is Mannix Richer. 16th is Gil Gok. 17th is Nicholas Casey. 18th is Brody Hanna. 19th, Kevin Rupert. 20th is Kevin Schultz.
Everybody else is one lap down and further, starting in 21st with Ronald White. 22nd, Andrew Palicki. 23rd, Lane Allen. 24th, Sherwood Williford. 25th place is Steve Loomis. 26th place will be James Torrey. Claude Forlin in 27th. We see Martin Zru in 28th. Joe Flanagan, 29th, and 30th place, Bobby Terrell.
And round out the rest of the field here. In 31st, you have Jonathan Varanakis. 32nd is Slyvan Jolly. 33rd is Chuck Sweetening. 34th, Brandon Elder. And in 35th place, disappointing finish there. I think he had some technical issues, was Dean Gear.
Yeah, technical issues. I'm not entirely sure there. The engine wasn't expired, so I'm not sure if it was just a mechanical issue or internet issue, as you stated earlier. Not entirely sure. But I think at this point in time, Kenny, we need to bring in some drivers to talk about how things went out there. And I think third place, Steve Vrooman, is going to be the first person I would like to talk to. Steve Vrooman, you got a copy, man?
Got a copy.
Hey, man. Excellent racing out there. You kind of maintained that top side the whole entire time. You had Casey McMullen on your back bumper, and you guys are doing some good work up there. How are you able to maintain the top five up at the top, especially when you had just a couple trucks to mainly us helping you out?
Thanks, man. Yeah, we were getting some strong pushes there from Casey and also from our teammate Jeff Langston there, and we just kept them all in line and were able to maintain and trying to get the side draft there off the inside line and hoping we can make something happen.
How did you set yourself up to be in that position? I know you had some team strategy, this and that, and how did you end up on that top spot in the top lane, or to kind of give yourself a good chance at the win?
Well, it all worked out with our pit strategy. We had some pit strategy work out, and that last pit stop there, that caution that came out at a good time. We had just completed our pit stop, so that put us back up towards the front right there. And then when that restart came and my teammate was on the outside line there, it made sense to jump up there and try to get some help and get both cars up to the front.
Yeah, I got Steve on that side draft there. How was that draft up on the high side? Was that side drafting kind of playing a factor at all, or do you feel like it was just a little bit more momentum on the bottom side?
It seemed like the side draft helped. We tried it both ways. We tried breaking away from them, going down the backstretch and getting away from the side draft, and it seemed we lost more ground that way. If we kept a little bit tighter, it seemed we were able to maintain better and get a little bit more ground back.
Yeah, definitely. You could see a little bit. It looks like you were kind of playing that factor, going a little bit lower, going a little higher, kind of seeing which way was going to work best for you. But hey, brought you home in third place. This was a great finish for you to start that season out in P3.
Yeah, it is. We're real happy with that finish right there.
Yeah, I would say so for sure. But I want to get back to your team and kind of discuss things and celebrate a little bit. So who are you out there in the land watching you? Any spotter or sponsors or any team members out there watching you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, our sponsor, None of Your Beeswax Apiary, local beeswax and honey from here in Tennessee.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations once again on your third place finish. Go ahead and celebrate and enjoy the rest of your night, all right?
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
You got it. That was Steve, your third place finisher of this evening. I think we have Chris Stouffer who finished second place there, right behind Tony Slayer for the most part of this evening. I think we got a hold of him, Mr. Stover. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey man, you were Tony's best friend there for the back half of the race. How were you guys able to maintain the top couple spots there for the back half when the early part of the race we saw a lot of good side drafting on the top?
I was just, doing my best to push him and try to keep my engine cool the whole time. I started real early on that last stint there, trying to make sure to duck out and try to keep my engine temperatures down because I knew at the end of the race it was going to get yeah, that's what it all comes down to, and want to be ready for that. And um, yeah, I don't know how we're able to push and maintain, the lead that we were from the pack that was up on top. I don't know if there's how many cars were up there or anything. I was just focused on what I was doing and trying to do best I can to push Tony and just maintain pace and keep my position.
Yeah, in that kind of position, I don't blame you for not knowing who was all behind you. You had a huge amount of trucks trying to get to you guys. You just kept doing your thing. I had a question about turn 3, maybe halfway down the backstretch. Looked like there was a huge shift in momentum. Getting into turn 3 on the bottom. It just kind of was it the how you were drafting Tony toward the last half of that race to kind of get that good momentum entering turn 3, or was it maybe the weather with the wind being kind of strong there in the corner? Like, what do you think that the deciding factor was in that part of the track that kind of maintained the lead in such a dominant fashion?
I do know what you're talking about. I noticed that there was several times where the outside line was able to get even with me. Um, Really, I was just that was when I would start making sure to just stick to his bumper more and focused really on not so much on the trioval part, but as soon as we come off that backstretch, as soon as I could just get right on his bumper and you really just push him all the way down that backstretch. And I think it made a difference. I do. You guys noticed it, so I didn't know if it was just the way it was working out or anything, because typically the high line does, come right up there, and they're able to snatch the lead away. So we're doing something right, and apparently it was working, and um, you know, that's the best explanation I could give you, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, Chris, that was a great finish you had there. I had a question for you on that last lap. I couldn't tell if you were looking to make a push on that outside lane or not, and it looks like the 00 kind of blocked that move from happening. But were you looking to make a move on that last lap, or were you just kind of committed to getting behind the 11, pushing them all the way to the end, and trying to get that second spot like you did?
Well, I will say I'm happy to get second. 90% of me was telling myself to just sit there, push Tony, and bring home second. It's Daytona. It's the first race of the season. Second place is better than getting wrecked on the last lap, because I didn't know what the high line would do. And I was worried that if I did duck out, maybe I'd just get left out in the middle and I'd end up back in 10th or worse. I have no idea how many trucks were right there all packed up. So, I could have went all the way to the tail end of the line. So I wanted to just mainly push Tony. If I felt like there was a good opportunity and felt confident enough to go out to the outside, I might have. I did have several chances, coming down to the wire there with 5 to go, 4 to go. Just I kept thinking about it and just saying, no, I'm just going to push Tony. I'm going to bring home second, and I'm glad it worked out. I was glad I was able to do that.
Yeah, it was a good call, I would say, at the end of the day, because, like you said, first race of the season, coming home second, it's going to be a great points day leading into next week. So I would say that was the right call on it. And it was a great run. It was a great race watching you there.
No, thank you. Yeah, of course, I would like to have got the win, but like you said, I was telling myself to think about the long haul, and it all worked out. Second place, I'll take it, and we'll go to next week.
Yes, sir. You have about another 3 months to decide if you want to get that first victory. You got next week for sure, minimally. So go ahead and give it your all next week. But since we still got you here, before you take on off with your team and everything, I'd like to ask if you have anyone out there that's watching, any shout outs, any thank yous to any sponsors.
Well, shout out to Joe Flanagan, my teammate in the league here, for me and him putting together a truck this week and going out there and running. Thanks to if my wife and kids would actually watch this, I would thank them and say, thank you, honey, for letting me do this. And kids are in bed, so. But regardless, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you gave her the shout out, so that should give her a little bit more motivation. At least tune in for the post race, anyways.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead and enjoy the rest of your night, man. Congratulations on your second place finish, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
And that leaves none other than your first place finisher of this evening. I do believe we have Tony Soler. Soler, that's how you pronounce that, correct?
It's actually Solar E. So
I am
Solari, like Volari, like the old Italian song.
I'm actually glad I butchered your name the past two races. I have to apologize. That will be corrected instantly. Tony Solari. All right, man. Well, congratulations. Dominant truck out there. After that big wreck happened and you kind of took over the lead, you kind of just maintained the thing. How were you able to keep it out there?
I'm just happy the lumber didn't fall out of the back of the truck. Chris was just, giving me that little gentle baby's touch on, down the straightaways. And, I didn't think we were gonna, I knew that outside lane wasn't strong. So I just kind of stayed low and, let, que sera, kind of one of those deals.
It's kind of surprised you just said the outside wasn't strong. I know the first half of the race, we saw like 11 trucks on the bottom and 2 or 3 on the top, and they were able to maintain second or third place, kind of hanging at the door. Nothing for the lead per se, maybe once or twice. But that power shift to the bottom definitely happened in the second half of the race. Do you think it was just something to do with the drivers that were currently in line on the bottom, or was it just, just an overall shift with weather and everything else out there?
Who knows? Yeah, because I remember I was in the outside early on too, or maybe even middle of the race, and I was actually running outside probably most of the race for the first 2 pit stops. And yeah, I was in a 3-car pack too, and we were kind of up in the front, but we were just never reaching that to where the lead guy can dip down. Very rarely it was happening. So when I got the lead, I kind of just took as much gas as I needed. No tires. I didn't take tires at all throughout the race. And I just figured, hey, if I can get out in front, I got lucky with that, missing that wreck. And, I didn't know what the other guy's strategy was, but I figured if I get out there quick, I could get the lead and maybe, make something happen.
Yeah, definitely. We could see on those pit stops you were smooth, not taking any tires. That definitely saved you some time, and a little bit of shift on the gas definitely doesn't help either. But yeah, you were getting a good push there from Chris, so he was definitely shoving you. I noticed in the turn 3 every lap, and that would push y'all out, and you would keep about a 2-car gap on the outside lane, so you had some good momentum down there. So it was that the whole plan after that restart is just stay on the bottom, not even worry about what's on your outside, and just kind of walking on that yellow line?
Basically, yeah. Just you want to protect the bottom. I kind of made a move in the other race the other night, and where the bottom got left open. I didn't want to be on the other end of that, so I said I'm staying low. Like I said, I didn't think the outside lane was going to be much of a threat. Obviously, it turned out it wasn't. And we kind of had a rule too. These trucks are really, really hard when you're bumping around and you're getting on them. And Chris was just nice and gentle, giving me a nice little tap. I didn't even have to tell him, hey, relax, and 1 or 2 times I kind of, it was like, oh, that's maybe a little too much, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, most definitely. Nice to take little P1 on the first race, especially here at Daytona. It's always nice to come home with that and start your season out right. But it was a great finish all around for you there. It's nice to see.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, it's FTSR is a great league. Richie and Brody, my 2 teammates. We're a close group, and I'm kind of the weak leak in the group, and it's kind of nice for me to dazzle every now and again. But yeah, Brody gets a lot of credit, or it needs a lot of credit. I mean, for what he does with the league. It's just a great league, great group of guys. It's more like a bunch of friends driving on track than, a bunch of racers. And, that's just the strong part of a league. And, it's great to be part of it.
That's awesome to hear. And I definitely see that chemistry out there on the track. And I don't think you should be the weakest link at this point in time, at least for not this week, taking home the W for sure. But
at least not this week. Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Shout outs to any sponsors, anyone out there that's watching you currently tonight?
I might have some friends, family, whatever watching. Hey, how you guys doing? Yeah, I got me another W. I run Menards on all my cars. Not that I'm sponsored by them. I'm a woodworker, and it's just one of my favorite stores. I always say if they had a meat department, I probably wouldn't shop anywhere else. So yeah, that's about it, man. It's I've been watching some of your streams too. You guys seem like you're doing a really good job. I can't wait to watch this one again.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys on board too.
Absolutely appreciate those kind words, man. Yeah, but all right, we're gonna let you go and go ahead and take off and talk to your team and enjoy the rest of your night. All right, congratulations once again on the victory.
Thanks again, guys. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Tony. Congratulations.
All right, that was Tony Solari, as I'm now going to pronounce that correctly from now on. Winner of tonight's Daytona 200, presented by Sim Racing Points. Now, Kenny, final thoughts before we get this thing wrapped up. Did the race go as you expected? You said it was going to be pretty clean, which I think it was. I think they put on a hell of a show, at least in my book. What was your final take?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty clean. We only had that one caution there. Unfortunately, it was quite a big one. It took out some fast trucks and quite a few trucks there as well, or damaged some more. But other than that, pretty clean racing. I did think the high side was going to come in a little bit more than it did, but that low line was the way to go. But all in all, I thought it was a great start to the season. I can't wait to move on to the rest of the season and see what it brings in store for us. But I'm happy. Daytona under the lights, great racing. Nothing better than that.
Yeah, 100% for sure. So we're going to go ahead and go over our partner list one more time before we kick it out this evening. Full Throttle Sim Racing, the host of tonight's event and on Mondays that we broadcast at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Full Throttle Sim Racing, FTSR.net. Go check their website out. They've been around for a long time, since 2006. iRacing for a total of 5 years now almost. And as you see, they put on a hell of a show. You got some really kind words, especially there from Tony there at the end, saying how everyone's just a nice big group, bunch of guys that are basically friends out there racing. That's awesome to hear. FTSR.net. You have Sim Racing Points. Another shout out to them. They're the official truck sponsor of tonight's race and the official results sponsor as well, which we saw Tony Solari. I messed that up one more time. And Christopher and Stephen Vrooman take the top three for tonight. The Sim Racing Points is that software that makes life so much easier on the admins that are controlling the point system. Easy upload of the results. You plug it in within a few seconds. Boom, you got your points updated for everyone to see. Takes care of all the behind the scenes work. So definitely an awesome product. Check them out at simracingpoints.com. And then we have Martin Sports, home of the sim racing gloves, I would say. And as far as one of our nerds out here, a part of this group, would have to agree they're the most durable, breathable glove in the sim world. And they also have fully customizable shirts, hoodies, hats, a couple other things on the way. Full dye print. It's an awesome, really lightweight, breathable product. Can't speak enough about Scott Martin and that group over there. Go to martinsports906.com. Super nerd at checkout for 25% off the entire purchase. Hell of a discount, especially for you guys out there listening. Then we have iRacing iFlag. That's that in-home light system. You put it on your desk anywhere you want. It simulates any type of flag that's on the track. Really bright, hard to miss. Sometimes when I'm racing, I see or I don't catch like a certain flag in the top left-hand corner of my screen. That product doesn't, you don't have to worry about it. It's such in your face, such a bright product. Brings you to the track, really realistic. iRacingIFlag.com. Use Super Nerd once again at checkout for them. 15% off your entire purchase. And then you have the Butt Kicker. That's that D-Box feel in your seat, 3D audio sound. You get the rumble of everything in the car. So you match that up with the iRacing iFlag product and a pair of Martin Sports gloves. One of these guys, super comfortable, lightweight. Keep your hands nice and dry. Those three products alone, just ultimate realism, basically in the car without being in the car. And if you go to thebuttkicker.com, buy any of their products, use Nerd TV at checkout for 20% off. And then McConey Setup Shop. they have an amazing group of guys that are working behind the scenes to provide some premium setups. Anything from dirt, short track, big tracks, you name it, they have it for you. They work on Daytona 500 setups, which is in the Daytona 24-hour race and all the other races, the big events. They're going to have you covered. So McConeySetupShop.com. You use Super Nerd at checkout for I think 15 or 20% off. I don't remember, but either way, we got a discount for you at their website. All right, Kenny. I think that's it, man. It's been a great first week with you, and I'm excited for the rest of the weeks ahead to see how everything plays out in the first season with Nerditudes and Nerd TV over at Full Throttle Sim Racing.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It was a fun, first race with you here in the Truck Series in the booth. I'm excited for next week. Next week, we're headed over to Auto Club Speedway. We're going to be there for the Auto Club 150. Should be a good race out there. It's nice to see the trucks going back to California, just like we are seeing them in the real life going back to California. It's been a while, so it's going to be nice to see that race, and I'm looking forward to it for the second race of the season, man.
Yeah, it follows the NASCAR schedule essentially. So if you have a little bit of trouble trying to figure it out, follows them aligned perfectly. So you got Auto Club in Vegas, and you got Phoenix, Atlanta. Atlanta should be a fun one because they should have that new 1.5 mile super speedway version out for everyone to have before their race actually comes up. So that one's going to be a really cool one to broadcast and call the shots with you. But yeah, that's your current schedule there on the screen there. And all right, guys, it's time to set sail on this thing. Was fun. Have a good night out there. Stay safe, and we'll see you back at Monday shortly before 9 p.m. Eastern.
Have a good night, nerds.